The following is an exclusive presentation of WI Garden Media, celebrating 10 years of being the voice of Garden Talk Radio. Coming up on the program today, we're going to be discussing buying and starting your seeds, as well as making your garden and landscape better this year from last, as well as we'll answer your garden questions. The hour's full, so join us.
You are listening to the most informationally packed hour of garden-focused radio in the country and on the internet with your host, husband and wife team Joey and Holly Baird. This is the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
And welcome to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show, the kickoff to season 10. Happy to have you along. I am your host, Joey Baird. Beside me is my wife, co-host, best friend, and gardening partner,
Holly Baird.
This program is for you, about you, to help your garden grow better, to maintain your landscape, grow healthier trees, make your grass look greener, as well as preserving what you grow. Happy you're tuning in, whether you're listening to us on one of the multitudes of AM and FM frequencies, broadcasting our program here in 2026 through a radio app, through our parent website, which is the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, under the Radio Season 10 tab at the top of the page, podcast replay or in-studio video replay. Thank you so much. You want to be part of the program, you can certainly do that by sending us an email to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or you can give us a call toll-free, coast to coast, anytime, 24/7. 365 at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. Before we get in the program, Holly, it's time for this week's Joke of the Week.
Why do fungi have to pay double the bus fares?
Why do fungi have... Because they're twice as much fun?
Because they take up too much room. Like too much room.
All right.
This week's garden joke is brought to you by Rescue.com, American-made rescue products. Keep your family, home, and yard protected from pests such as wasps, hornets, yellow jackets, flies, ants, and more. Learn more at Rescue.com. That's RESCUE.com.
Well, we appreciate you tuning into the program. If you are a frequent listener of this time spot when the Dr. Dirt used to be in this time frame, he is retired. We have been asked to fill part of his programming vacancy here in 2026, and we are happy to do such, and we're happy to have you along. Well, as we are just very early on in the year, we always are thinking about starting seeds and doing it correctly, or adjusting the type of methods in which we are practicing in order to get our seeds started indoors and get them ready to transplant in the garden at the appropriate time in our particular growing location. Now, before we get started, there's nothing wrong with buying pre-grown plants at your independent garden center or big box store.
No, not at all. If you don't have the room, the time, the resources, anything like that to start seeds, you just are like, I just prefer to buy these seeds started, and when it gets closer to my planting season time, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But it is fun to start seeds, especially it does give you the option oftentimes of more variety. So there's definitely some pros that if you do end up having the ability to start seeds, we highly recommend it.
Well, for example, if you go to a good independent garden center, and we all have those in our areas, maybe they have 15 to 20 different varieties of tomatoes and maybe 10 to 12 varieties of peppers. But if you go to an online store like jungseed.com and use coupon code 15TG26 to save 15% off your order at jungseed.com, that's JUNGSEED.com, you can find dozens of varieties of tomatoes, of peppers, of squashes. And you can take a pack of seeds that you pay, I'm picking numbers here, $3, and you can get 25 to 50 seeds out of one of those packs versus paying $4 to $6 for one plant at certain garden centers.
Right. And that's a very good point as well. It does give you more seed chances. But again, that would mean that you would have space for all of that and the ability to do so. So it gives you many pros. So you want to think about what you're going to start your seeds in. You can use compost. You can use seed starting mix. whatever kind of works or makes sense for you. Maybe you already know that you have purchased some compost to add to some raised beds and you set aside some to start seeds. That's perfectly fine. But maybe you're like, I need to go buy something. Then a seed starting mix is good too.
We have grown in straight 100% compost. We've actually gone out on our porch where we have a composter, and it been in the dead of the winter. We've chiseled compost out, brought it in a bucket and let it warmed up, and then planted directly in that because, one, we didn't want to go to the store, and two, we had the resources right out our back door on our deck for that. And there's nothing wrong with growing in a seed starting mix that has perlite or vermiculite, a composting material, some type of water retention mechanism, or just growing in compost if you're watering adequately and correctly with these seedlings in whatever form or fashion you've started them in, either a seed tray or a milk jug or whatever that is, party cup.
Right. So then you want to think about when to start the seeds. It's good to start seeds at the appropriate time, and there's different.
It's kind of a must.
Yeah, well, it's a must. And there's different charts and timelines that you can find online depending on when you're going to plant them outside. So, for example, it's not like a one and done for all. You're not going to plant start all of your seeds, say like January 27th or something. You want to go back the week. So, like certain like onions and leeks take longer to, or not longer to start, but you start them sooner because you can put them outside in the ground sooner. Well, something like tomatoes is different.
Right. Onions and leeks typically 10 to 12 weeks before your last average frost date. Tomatoes are 6 to 8 weeks before your last average frost date. Now, that does not mean if your last average frost date is May 1st, May 2nd, you can dump these things in the ground. That is a guideline in which to start the seeds for your particular area. And just type in your favorite search and last average frost date, insert zip code, and it'll give you a timeline of which to work back on. And again, you said there's charts online for particular varieties, and there's some that you don't even start in seed starting trays. You don't even start inside.
Like you wouldn't start like radishes, most root crops. You wouldn't start those inside, squashes, things like that. So there's plenty of things that you're not going to start in the side, and you want to just go ahead and direct sow them. So then you would want to also think about where you're going to put these seeds. You want to have some sort of light source. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to invest in a grow light. You could use, maybe you have a nice south facing window. Maybe you have a 3-season porch. Maybe you have, other options, but you want to make sure that they have an access to a light source.
Now, whether you have a grow light or not, again, where you set this up at is important because of heat. These plants need a certain amount of warmth and the seed soil to start, whether you are in a climatized greenhouse with a heater, climatized basement with good grow lights, wherever you're at. If you do not have adequate heat, let's say you're in an unclimatized basement, you're going to need some kind of warmth, like heat mats. Horticultural grade heat mats. You don't want to get old heat pads that you had for your sore ankle or anything like that. Because they don't work right. They don't have the particular thermostat on it, and the newer ones shut off after a certain amount of time anyway. So if you're going to invest correctly, the right thing the first time, and do that. Now, if you're just starting seeds in a spare bedroom with good grow lights, you don't need really necessarily a heat mat or heat source because you're going to have ambient temperature warmth on that soil and in that seed mix.
Right. So then you want to think about how you're watering these seeds. There's different ways. I mean, one is obviously watering them at the top of the container, not over the top of the plant, but just right directly into the soil. Some people do a bottom wicking watering situation, or like a self-watering, whatever works for you. But you just want to make sure that whatever you're planting these seeds in, or the seeds, to start the seeds, that you have some drainage. You don't want to not have drainage. So if you are reusing something like yogurt containers or cottage cheese or sour cream or something, just poke some holes in the bottom because you don't want to have your roots rot.
Right. when we start our seeds and start them in root maker grow trays, we will cut, and you can do this with any type of seed tray. We will plant, let's say we plant 32 tomatoes. We will take paper towel and cover that seed tray and then water through the paper towel, and that one distributes the water more evenly and doesn't flush the seed out of the cell in which we've just planted. And two, it acts as a mulch. It holds the moisture in the seed soil mix, because typically in the early portions of the year, our homes, we're heating it with some type of heat source, and it's kind of dry air, so the moisture wicks out of that soil much more rapidly than in the peak summer. So by doing that, adding that paper towel over top of it, it holds that moisture. Now, you have to be aware of, okay, these seeds take 7 to 14 days, 8 to 12 days, 6 to 8 days. Check and then remove that paper towel and then go about your normal watering schedule. Also, up potting. What type are we starting these seeds in such minute seed starting cells that realistically in about 2 weeks you're going to have to move them to something else? We want to try to avoid as much up potting as possible. We start our tomato seeds in the cells, like 3.5 by 3.5 grow trays, that they will stay in there until the time to put them outside. We harden them off, take them outside. That's their life. We're not putting these things in multiple seed starting trays. Now, occasionally what we will do is we will take 10 or 15 we'll take multiple types of the same variety of tomato and start them in a cup. Once they get 2 to 4 inches tall, we will move them into that seed starting tray I spoke about, and then that will be the duration. That way I can have a full seed tray full of healthy producing tomato plants, and I don't have spots where I don't have anything came up because the germination wasn't good on the seeds. So you can find a whole lot more at our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com. Up in the right-hand corner, just type in seed starting. We've got multiple in-depth videos on how to do such, and more information that what we were able to cover in this little segment. When we return, we're going to be talking about making your garden and landscape better than it was this year. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
Azure Standard is America's premier family-owned online store for organic foods and healthy products for your home and garden. They deliver directly to families and businesses through more than 3,500 drop points across all 50 states, making it easy to get everything you need in one simple pickup. As a natural health food distributor, Azure brings bulk and specialty items to communities nationwide. They offer more than 12,000 products that meet their clean ingredient standards, high-quality, non-GMO, organic, and naturally sourced. You'll find everything from groceries, health and beauty items, and household essentials to nutritional supplements, animal care, hobby supplies, and even gardening products. Simply put, Azure Standard has something for just about every part of daily living. Visit azurestandard.com and use promo code JoeyandHolly15 at checkout to get 15% off your first order of $100 or more when you open a new account and ship to the drop location of your choice. azurestandard.com. Azure Standard is AZURE standard.com.
Say goodbye to weeds. Easily remove them, roots and all, with the unique design of the Cobra Hand Cultivator, recognized as the world's leading hand weeding tool. Simple design, lightweight, made from forged tempered steel for easy extraction of weeds, plant seeds, rows, and more. Visit cobrahead.com and use coupon code SOIL for 10% off your order at cobrahead.com. Coupon code valid 1 per customer.
Get in your garden with Diggs. From gardening gloves to accessories, storage, organization, and more, Diggs products combine form and function with a splash of fashion and are ideal for women who possess a passion for plants and enjoy harnessing the beauty of nature. Steeped in color and pattern, Diggs gloves are inspired by nature and are designed to protect your most valuable assets, your hands. Get your Diggs on at diggsgardening.com, the Home Depot, Amazon, and search for it by name, DIGZ, diggsgardening.com.
With durable green bed raised garden bed kits designed to be drainable, breathable, pest resistant, and long lasting. DurableGreenBed.com. Abundance guaranteed. We are in the dead of winter, but it's not too early to read up on the best products to control beetles and grubs in your yard and garden.
You're right, Joey. Before we know it, the temperature will rise to 55 Fahrenheit plus, and those grubs will become active again in your lawns and gardens. Make sure you use safe, high-performing products like Grub Gone and Beetle Gone so you, your kids, and pets can safely enjoy your yard without sharing it with beetles and grubs.
Grub Gone can be applied to the turf to control grubs, reducing turf damage and lessens the impact that beetles have on your yard in the summer. Easy to use. Apply with any commercial spreader and irrigate into the soil. Biological that specifically targets grubs without harming soil beneficials like earthworms.
And use Beetle Gone in your garden soil to control grubs, or later in the summer to control beetle invaders without harming bees, ladybugs, insects, butterflies, etc. These are the only non-chemical products that work. Find out more at beetlegone.com.
Welcome back to the Garden with Joey and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. You want to find out more information about those which you just heard, those companies? You can find all that out and their coupon codes at our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, underneath the Radio 10 tab at the top of the page and the Money tab for the coupon codes and where you can go and find them. Well, as we break into a new year, it's time to revisit some of the things in our garden and lawn, our landscape, our property that we may want to change. You know, we always have that thought process of, I'm going to get to that. That's on the list of things to do. Well, what better time to actually make it happen than planning it and making a list and going, okay, here's the priorities of things I want to get done. And we're just going to kind of go over several things that you may want to have done and going about to how that should be accomplished.
Right. So one that you might think about is maybe tree removal, planting new trees, trimming trees, things like that. Especially a lot of times people will trim trees in the late fall or early spring. So you would want to look into that, or now is your time to maybe see more of the tree. If you know that there's a branch that's loose or something, you're going to be able to see that now when there's no leaves on the tree. Whenever
you're going to, and again, this is a really good time in the dead of winter when the ground in some areas is sub-zero for multiple days, that you can hire a crew to come in and remove a tree in areas where it's very difficult or dangerous for you don't have a bucket ladder to get up and take the tree down in pieces because, you know, it's between a house and a garage and the neighbor's property and all that. Your mom recently had that done. She hired somebody to come in and take down because the tree was hanging over the power lines, and the power company came in and cut it all down, and then another crew came in to clean it all up. And it was getting to the point where it was becoming dangerous, and there was no safe way to go about doing it by somebody who was just an amateur or a family member with a chainsaw. This had to be done professionally, correctly, and safely.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And it's a lot cheaper to pay somebody a couple of $1,000s than have to deal with a lawsuit, property damage, hospital bill, or a funeral.
Right. And yeah, like you said, a lawsuit, especially these days. So you want to think about maybe modification to low-lying areas, bring in some dirt, maybe make a wetland, a pond, something like that. Thinking about how you've noticed that corner, that area of my yard is always flooded when it rains a lot, and maybe it bothers you. Maybe mushrooms grow there and you're afraid your dog or your small children are going to eat those mushrooms, and you can think about maybe modifying that.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, there's a lot of reputable. You do your research in your area for good landscaping people, and a good landscaper will company will have images on their website of past projects and positive reviews on search engines of people. Typically, the landscapers who don't do a good job, either one, is not in business very long, or two, there's not a whole lot on their website or reviews in a positive nature. And you can ask people for suggestions on who they would recommend, and typically if a bad landscaper has done something, they're going to tell you about it.
Absolutely. Word of mouth definitely does does travel fast. So then also we have redesigning grow beds around the house, raised beds, building raised beds, etc. So maybe you have some grow beds around your house and that's how you bought the house and they've driven you crazy for 5 years and you're like, if they were just, a little bit wider or
Or they're falling apart.
they're falling apart, right? Or you have this bush that's growing there and you just cannot stand it. Or you have a series of bushes and you don't like how they look, whatever. Thinking about that kind of stuff, the whole redesigning, redoing, maybe replanting, whatever needs to be done, especially when it comes to your garden raised beds. Maybe you put them in the wrong spot, and I'm not saying you should move them, but thinking about ways you could possibly improve them for yourself.
If you're going to do or re-establish or create new raised beds in your backyard for your garden, a couple of things real quickly, and we'll touch on this more in depth next week. 4 foot wide minimum. Make sure you can get a lawnmower down them, wheelbarrow, plenty of space to work. You're not cramped from
4 foot wide
walk paths between the beds.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to incorporate and bring in wildlife to your backyard, such as birds with bird feeders, a bat house or bat houses, a couple of things here. With bird feeders, you want to figure out, squirrels are going to try to get in the bird feeders. There are bird feed companies or seed companies that infuse their bird seed with very potent hot pepper powder in order to keep those squirrels out. Squirrels have the ability to taste that heat. Birds do not. Squirrels will go and ingest that and get it in their nostrils and all that and go elsewhere because they don't want to deal with that because it's very painful for them. Also, if you're incorporating bird feeders in areas where you have animals such as bears, black bears, or other, in the northern portions of the United States, bears will migrate through, and then there's other southern portions, there's bears everywhere. They will come in and bend the bird feeder down in order to eat bird seed. We've seen videos of this in wooded areas, in residential areas. Be aware of that.
Right. So then there's the wildlife, etc. Maybe starting over by planting new grass or laying sod. Now, this is not necessarily something you're going to do in colder weather, but looking into possibly the cost, having a plan of some sort.
Sometimes if you book it out, you get a better rate because you've planned ahead and go, hey, it's January, they don't have a lot. If they will give like winter rates. Oh, we'll come in as soon as we can get in there to do it. But because you're booking it now, we're going to give you a better rate than when it's busy season for us.
That'll give them a chance to get you on the schedule, and that helps them for scheduling purposes. So it's a lot easier for the business.
Another thing is putting in irrigation. Is there areas of your yard that is not growing the way you want it to? In-ground irrigation system being put in, irrigation for your raised beds. We have raised beds. We've got drip line irrigation. We got a main line that's under the ground, and then that feeds into our raised beds to minimize the amount of watering. It's amazing how quickly things grow when they're hydrated correctly and you're not trying to water them with a hose on a afternoon in July when it's 98 degrees with a heat index of 112.
98 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the sod deal, you ever lay sod? Have you ever laid sod?
Yes.
You've laid sod too?
Yes.
When did you lay sod?
When I was helping our neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can do that yourself,
yes.
Or you can bring somebody in, and you buy the sod on the pallet and they bring it in.
Or you can just, plant grass seed.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
There is preparation for both into the best end result. You got to prep for both of those. And if you're going to bring rock in and make paths, or
who were you laying sod for? Because there's not a lot of grass on your parents' farm.
No, it was in high school. It's the new high school football baseball field.
Oh, you were laying sod there?
Yeah, they laid for the infield. Yeah.
Why were you doing that?
Because that was something that they needed help high school kids do, and we went out there and laid some sod.
See, you were like, I love manual labor so much.
I never laid sod before. It was something,
something new.
it's very easy to do.
It is easy to do, yes.
It's just like cutting a puzzle and layering in because you split the seams. You don't put the seams all together. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so the irrigation, laying sod, planting grass, all good things for your lawn. Or, you might decide that you want to maybe live in an area where you want to lay down a bunch of rock in your yard because you don't want to worry about grass.
If you're in an area, and that may be a thing in which the municipality encourages, state gives you a certain kickback on taxes because you're minimizing water usage on your property. Something to look at.
Or maybe you want to do some research about some natural things like bioswales, where you are encouraging rainwater to grow or to
be captured.
Not even be captured, but you kind of work with a natural planned erosion of sorts, so that way you are allowing that rainwater to fall into what's called a swale, which is kind of like a divot in the land, and then you plant plants in there and native plants, and then they benefit from that runoff rainwater.
So it's a little bit like a wetland, but not totally 100% like a wetland.
Yes.
All right.
So do you need maybe a boot and shoe cleaner? You can use the original long-lasting boot scrubber. It's called Scrusher from Scrusher.com. It's a durable outdoor shoe cleaner. It's a shoe brush station, and it's built with weather-resistant steel frame and a UV black powder coated finish for year-round outdoor use. You can just take your boots while it sits outside. You clean those boots off, and then that way, when you go into your house, you don't have to worry about getting mud or who knows what all over your nice floors. It's perfect for entryways, patios, garages, and other areas to keep the dirt where it belongs outside. You can use code NOMOREDIRT5 to get 5% off and free shipping at checkout. Go to Scrusher.com. That's SCRUSHER.com. NOMOREDIRT5.
When we return, we're going to be answering your garden questions. You're tuned in the Garden with Joey and Holly radio show.
Have a garden question? Give Joey and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now 1-800-927-SHOW.
Soil Diva Liquid Microbe Stimulant Spray improves the health of your plants you work hard to grow, stimulates the natural enzymes, and increases beneficial soil bacteria. Go to soildiva.net. Soildiva.net. Jung Seed Company is a family-owned and operated gardening company since 1907 with the largest selection of seeds and plants online. Use coupon code 15TG26 to receive 15% off your order at jungseed.com. That's JUNGSEED.com.
Hello, gardeners! It's Ann from Neptune's Harvest Organic Fertilizers in Gloucester, Mass. If you're planting flowers, vegetables, shrubs, or just trying to keep your lawn healthy and green, then you should know about Neptune's Harvest. Neptune's Harvest fertilizers come from the mineral-rich North Atlantic Ocean, which contains all the nutrients plants and soil need. Flower growers, get your sunglasses out. You'll want to use them when you're looking at how bright those colors are. Vegetable growers, with Neptune's Harvest, you can achieve the amazing results you deserve for all your efforts. You'll have the most abundant, sweet-tasting supply of organically grown produce, and there's nothing like the taste of a fresh garden tomato you grew yourself. Neptune's Harvest works so great, whether you know what you're doing or not, you'll look good, and you'll feel good, because you're doing the right thing for the environment and your health. Try Neptune's Harvest products from the ocean to set your plants in motion. Available at your local garden center, and to learn more, go to neptunesharvest.com.
Pomona's Universal Pectin is a high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar or honey to sweeten. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at PomonaPectin.com. Also available at natural food stores and online. Garden like a pro in 3 easy steps and receive customized fertilizer recommendations for your garden or lawn. Soil Savvy helps you determine what nutrients your plants need to thrive. Never again over-apply nutrients they don't need. A patented process that makes you a smart gardener. To get your soil test kit, go to mysoilsavvy.com.
If you could double the life of your raised bed boxes by sealing the wood with a clear, non-toxic wood preservative, would you? Well, now you can with a clear, penetrating product called Internal Wood Stabilizer. It's 100% non-toxic and easy to apply. Seal your untreated wood surfaces, even chicken coops, by spraying on Internal Wood Stabilizer. It's invisible, seals the wood from the inside out, and never wears off. Recommended by organic gardening experts. Internal Wood Stabilizer. Check it out at timberprocoatingsusa.com. Welcome back to the Garden with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. Time for your garden questions, our garden answers. But first, a word from
ScrubbySoap.com. I don't know about you, but Joey, but I know when I'm working on little projects, whether it be something I'm doing that's artsy crafty in the garden, working with my hands. I know, like for you, when you use the chainsaw, sometimes you get that scented stuff on your hands. Well, Scrubby is a natural soap with a scrubber inside that fills the entire size of the bar. And then instead of using harsh synthetic agents, it uses citrus oil. The combination of citrus oil and the scrubber creates the ultimate soap for removing dirt, grease, oil, and paint. It's not just for your hands, it's also perfect for cleaning artists' paintbrushes as well. So anybody can use it, from artists to gardeners, crafters, outdoorsy people, mechanics, and works really well. So if you go to scrubbysoap.com and use code SOAP at checkout, you can get 10% off your order. scrubbysoap.com.
All right, time for your garden questions, garden answers. You got a question, you can certainly submit it over here to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. You can also give us a call toll free, coast to coast, at 1-800-927-SHOW, 1-800-927-7469. If you can't get through, leave a message. We will call you back. All right, what is the shelf life of canned goods that I have put up myself?
So it's about a year, and it doesn't mean that if you say you can something January 1st, it doesn't mean that the next January 1st rolls around and it's going to immediately go bad. It just starts to lose freshness. And what this year date is good to keep in mind is making sure that you're using those items. So, and you are kind of rotating your stock essentially. So if you have, say you canned a whole bunch of peaches from like a peach truck type situation, you want to make sure you're using those peaches before you can more, or that you're using those peaches that you canned a year ago first.
Now, those you spoke about, extending that past that 1 year mark. If you're getting in that 14, 18, 24 month time period, again, it's not necessarily the things are going bad. They are going to get potentially tougher in
right.
texture and chew.
And something like jam could get kind of boozy.
Right.
It can ferment.
Even juices.
Yeah, even juices. We had strawberry jam, and I think it was probably 13 months after we had made it, and it
wasn't no more than a year and a half at most.
Right. And it was like, it smelled like wine or something. Yeah. So yeah, definitely that's one thing. It's not necessarily going to make you sick or anything like that, as long as you are using safe canning practices. But it's also not where sometimes when you buy canned good, it'll say like expires in 2028, 2029. At this point, you don't want to go towards that 3-year mark. You want to stay within,
first in, first out.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right, looking towards the tomato planting time of year, what is your thoughts on the best slicing tomatoes, grilling tomatoes, and roasting tomatoes?
Sure. So for slicing, we like the Brandywine, especially like a Cherokee Purple as well.
Black Krim is a good one.
Black Krim, yeah, that's a good one.
We've grown Black Krim for years, and whether it's hot, cold, wet, dry, the Black Krim always produces. Mortgage Lifter is another good one. Kellogg Breakfast.
I'm not sure if I've ever had Kellogg's Breakfast. Is that a yellow one?
Yeah, I think we've grown it a couple of years. Any beefsteak. Beefsteak defines as large, like palm-sized tomatoes.
Those are the popular ones for
sandwiches type of thing. Yeah.
You want something that usually, if you are looking for grilling, roasting, slicing something that's larger, something that's a little bit more meaty. Even like aroma tomato would work too. So something that just has
for grilling, aroma would be a good tomato, that especially because of its denser. It's denser and less water content on it. Makes it easy to cut and grill. Medium size firm tomatoes, early girl is a good one. Vine ripened tomatoes of any type really in that category. Typically slice halfway through the equator, and you can grill in that way. Roasting tomatoes, you want something that has natural sugars, so a variety of many of them work. Roma is another good one. Amish paste would be another good one for roasting. Also, it's a good one for canning as well.
Right, Roma and Amish paste are good for canning. San Marzano, if you
roasting cherry and grape tomatoes. We find, and this is not part of the question, but you take cherry and grape tomatoes, cut them in half, dehydrate them for I think it's like 18 hours on a standard fan dehydrator at 145 degrees. Really, sun-dried tomatoes. Absolutely great on any type of add that to the dish, pasta, or you just want to rehydrate them in a soup or stew. Really works out quite well, and it's very limited effort. But you do want to cut them in half to get more surface exposure in order to do that. Yeah, and Roma and plum tomatoes have a good flavor sauce for paste canning as well.
Yeah, there's lots of options, lots of stuff, especially if you're not starting seeds yourself and you're going to grow them and you're going to get them from the garden center. It's good to keep your options open.
Or buy them from the farmer's market if you don't have the space to grow multiple varieties of specific things that you want.
Right.
All right, I missed the window to plant my garlic. Is there a way to plant it in the spring, or should I resign myself to skipping it this year? I'm in zone 4.
So
yes and no.
Yes and no.
We have
done spring garlic.
We have done spring garlic. We will plant our garlic in zone 6 in October and then harvest it in late June, early July. We have also attempted and planted garlic in the spring as soon as we could chisel it in the ground, and then we harvested it later on in the summer. From our experiment and our experience, the spring garlic was half the size of the fall garlic that we planted and was in the ground from October to June. These are heirloom varieties. These are hardneck varieties. These are not just generic off-brand, no taste cloves from the grocery store. So, yeah, go ahead and put it in the ground. You're going to get something. It may not be to the pleasingness that you would hope it had been if you had planted it in the fall, which you plant it in the fall, you harvest it in the spring. That winter, it gives it the cold hours it needs in order to grow correctly. So go ahead and do it.
Right. All right. So what do people use when planting really tiny seeds? I never thought about it. Then I stumbled on one in a seed catalog. Not sure if theirs is worth the price. So I wondered what others use. I found a small seed dispenser. Thought it was gimmicky at first, but then realized that my arthritic hands might find something like that useful. I would say seed dispensers is one of them.
Tweezers?
Tweezers, yeah.
You can take an index card and fold it and V it and put the seeds in and tap the bottom of that V and distribute it that way.
We used to use a seed dispenser.
There's ones in which you kind of it sucks the seeds up and you kind of like a syringe and you pop it and they plant. A toothpick with some a wet damp toothpick, pick the seed up, and we're talking tiny seeds like there's some flower seeds, oregano, carrots, but you would want the carrot seeds you do not want to plant indoors. You want to direct sow them outside, but tiny. Another
option is if you have those tiny seeds. Is especially with carrots is to make seed tape.
Seed tape is another one, yeah. If you are starting your seeds indoors and they're not root crops, they're like talked about oregano or thyme, very small seeds. There's nothing wrong with just pinch scattering, just grab a pinch of it, scatter it in the seed cell, and then let it grow for a couple of weeks, and then divide it out gently and maneuver it to do that.
Now, there's nothing wrong with using any sort of tool or aid that will help you, whether it be starting seeds, planting in your garden, weeding in your garden, etc. And you want to not feel ashamed about that. Just some old timey proud gardener. "Rawr, I never did this back in my day." Don't worry
It's
about
time
that.
to do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Hang out with. Go
Use
ahead.
what you need to do.
Yeah. Hang out with us. When we return, we'll answer more of your questions. You're tuned into the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
MyRootmaker.com has the tools to start your plants off right and keep them growing through harvest. From their seed starting trays with an innovative design that air prunes the roots to their large variety of grow bags, 1 to 60 gallons. Get the harvest you've never seen before. Visit MyRootmaker.com and use coupon code RADIO26 to save 10% off your order at MyRootmaker.com.
Wind River Chimes will always be the inspiring harmony. With a large selection and customization options, you will find the sound that soothes you. Visit windriverchimes.com to shop and find out more.
Check out ivorganics.com. It's America's leading garden product YouTube channel. IV Organic products are innovative, organic, effective, and proudly USA made to help you achieve your best growing season. Use coupon code RADIO10 at checkout and save 10% on your entire order at ivorganics.com. That coupon code again is RADIO10 to save 10% on your order at ivorganics.com.
Goodbye, biting bugs and plant invaders. No More Bugs by Naturally Green Products is your answer. No More Bugs is DEET-free and not sticky on your skin. USDA certified, No More Bugs has been a favorite by consumers across the country for over 14 years. More than a repellent, it is safe for you, your plants, pets, and home. Available online at nomorebugs.net, Amazon, Walmart.com, and the Home Shopping Network. Make watering easy. DripWorks provides quality drip irrigation supplies and equipment to gardeners just like you for all your growing needs across the U.S. and Canada. Purchase online at dripworks.com.
Welcome back to the Garden with Joey and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along today. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be part of it with us. It's time for more of your garden questions and answers. You want to submit your question, gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com, or toll free coast to coast 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. In addition, you want to find out more information about the sponsors you've heard, our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, under the Season 10 tab at the top of the page.
All right, so I'm asking this so that I'm ready for spring. Moles and gophers have taken over our property. We've trapped a couple, but obviously aren't winning. I once heard there's something that you can spread that will get rid of grubs. Getting rid of grubs will disinterest the bigger critters on your property. What is this powder? I want to be able to spread it on the snow, or spread it when the snow finally melts.
BeetleGone.com is the product, is the company. It's easy to apply. It's biologically, it's a granular insecticide, non-chemical choice for areas for kids, pets. Frequently, it's an active ingredient. It has a BT, natural occurring soil bacteria in it. It controls grubs, including Japanese beetles and Asian garden beetles, ornamental beetles, European. It takes care of a lot of these. So we want to apply this in spring. Typically, people want to do it in spring. Grub Gone, it can be applied in spring to fall. However, summer application is the best. Apply Grub Gone during the midsummer, end of July, and beginning of August to control the newly hatched grubs and invaders. Their first week of development. You apply it within 2 to 3 weeks of peak to fight the adult beetles. You can find more at BeetleGone.com. All right. When do people use, what do people, okay. Well,
I'm going to try growing onions from seed this year versus sets. I want large and some sweet, looking for advice on types of onions seeds to try. So one thing...
You need to know your geographical area.
You need to know your geographical area because you want to grow the correct onion type for where you are. So if you live in the northern part of the United States, you want long day onions. If you live in the mid part of the United States, you want midday. And if you live in the southern parts of the United States you want short days. So once you figure that out, then there are a few different varieties. So there's like a Vidalia.
Walla Walla is another one.
Walla Walla, a Maui. And then there's also varieties like Sweet Harvest, DP Sweet, and Timon.
Again, these are not necessarily precise varieties for long day, short day. These are just large variety onions. We have not been identified of where this listener is located. So
right. So that's what we don't know where this person is located, but it's something that you want to keep in mind is figuring out if you're long, midday, or short day.
All right. I cut open some large potatoes that have come from my garden, and in the center there are black open areas. What happened? What did I do wrong? Well, this is called hollow heart in potatoes. It is a common physiological disorder, which is a void or a gap inside the potato, as it's forming. Typically, it's a dark or brown or black area. It's because of uneven growth. It's because of stress. It was really dry, and then a lot of rain came, and it developed. It typically happens with russet potatoes, but it can happen with other varieties. So just consistent watering is the key. There's nothing wrong with the potato itself. You can remove that darkened area inside the potato, and then it will grow just fine. And or you can consume it. It will taste just fine as long as you remove that sunken area. I'm looking to use mulch. Looking to use straw as mulch for next year. I have heard concerns about straw being sprayed with herbicides that can harm my garden. Is there any truth to this? You'd have to find out from the farmer or the garden center. There are some straw manufacturers online in which you can purchase, or you can go to big box stores and get it. Growing up at the farm, we never sprayed our wheat. There's straw, there's barley wheat, oat wheat, or barley straw, oat straw, wheat straw. There's some other varieties in there. We never sprayed any of that growing up, so there would not be a problem. Now there's a distinct difference between straw and hay. Hay is the grass is grown for animal consumption. That is typically sprayed with a chemical to kill the broadleaf plants. So it is only the grasses or the clover that is being harvested and baled up and fed.
Is it common for farmers to spray for their what ends up being straw? I don't know. I don't know exactly, but I wouldn't put it past, because sometimes these farmers are looking at ways to increase the yield of the crop, and by spraying a chemical in order to help kill weeds that may be in the field to get away from taking away the nutrients. It could be that as well. But ask around. Typically, your best source is going to a farmer and going, hey, I'm looking to buy X amount of straw bales. One, do you sell those? And two, have you sprayed anything on it? Because I'm using it for vegetable gardening, and I don't want anything leaching into the garden. Right. All right, what else we got?
We have...
All right, so the final one here is how long are seeds good for? So that depends on the seed, and you want to make sure you are storing these in a cool, dry, dark place. If you store them in a place that might have some moisture, they could just sprout on their own.
Or like we do, we take the seeds to the garden, and sometimes we forget and leave them in a hot car. That doesn't help the lifespan of them at all. Right,
exactly. So you want to make sure you are taking care of your seeds. So 1 to 2 years, the smaller the seed, the less time it's going to be viable. So 1 to 2 years.
Explain the viability. What was that? That's the
lifetime,
or the ability for it to sprout.
Yeah.
And each year that goes by that seed has not been utilized, it will on average lose 10% viability. So 5 years in, you're at 50% chance. Smaller seeds like onion, parsnips, corn, okra, spinach, lettuce. Once you get to that 2 year, maybe 3 year, you're looking at a very small percentage of germination possibility.
Right. Yeah. So 1 to 2 years are onions, parsnips, corn, okra, spinach, lettuce. 2 to 4 years, things like beets, carrots, peppers, Swiss chard, beans, peas, cabbage. And then 4 to 6 years are your tomatoes, squash, cucumbers, eggplant, watermelon, radishes, pumpkins, broccoli, kale, and Brussels sprouts.
That's 4 to 6 plus years.
Yeah.
I've seen tomatoes. 9 years, some tomatoes are still viable, and even some people who found them in shadow boxes from decades ago have been able to get some of them to germinate and grow.
Okay, so another question is, what does it mean when it says days to maturity from planting, inside or out?
Yeah, we see this on the label. Days to maturity, 80 days. Days to maturity, 112. What are we talking about? Is it from the time we start the seed inside in our cell, in our root maker grow tray, or what's the equation? What's the answer here?
It's from planting to harvest.
So if we plant a radish seed outside, it's 30 days to maturity. If we start a tomato seed inside, it doesn't start until we put that tomato in the ground and then start going. We put the tomato in the ground X day, and then we count 90 days, and that's when the plant should be bearing a produce for us.
Right.
Yes.
You don't have to start seeds.
Well, you don't have to start seed. Well,
No. So, yeah, because when growing up, we didn't start seeds. We just planted them in the ground.
Tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, they
All
went
the things.
right in the ground, and that was it.
We were still harvesting zucchini in August and tomatoes in August, and I like starting seeds.
Right.
It's okay.
It's a way to get a healthy plant established, and then you can put that healthy plant in the.
But is it healthy? You got to harden it.
Right.
You put the seed, then it's like the strongest survive.
But then you may have patches where those seeds didn't come up or something ate them because they were weak. Next question here is, I have heard and seen people say, I got this for my garden and it was free. Where are you all finding this free stuff at?
I feel like this was a question made for me.
Okay.
So I taught Joey how to pick up free stuff on the side of the road.
Right. We still got the chair in the attic.
Yeah.
First chair.
Oh, yeah, that chair.
Yeah.
That's right. And I've been picking up free stuff on the side of the road. I watched my parents do it. I've been doing it for my whole life. So you can find stuff on junk day. You can find stuff on trash day. A lot of people put their trash out, especially on long weekends. Mm-hmm. You have like a 3-day weekend, like a government, whatever, holiday weekend, like Memorial Day, Labor Day, whatever. People will put their stuff out after that weekend because they've cleaned up their garage, etc. And you can find that stuff. You can also a lot of times find stuff now on Facebook Marketplace. People will have like curbside. Just
because it's free, you got to scroll down and read the description because it's the free to get you there. And it's at $50 for this and $60 for
right.
that.
You definitely want to make sure you read the fine print on that. And even I believe there's still the free portion of
Craigslist
stuff on the Craigslist. Yeah. So that's another way you can look. Now you're thinking my neighbors don't throw anything out.
You don't know what your neighbors got.
You don't know what your neighbors got. You also sometimes you might have to drive around to other neighborhoods,
right?
And
the rich neighborhoods.
And see, I mean, there's like certain neighborhoods that, like Joey said, the rich neighborhoods where they don't even realize what they're throwing out. We have a window air conditioner from the rich neighborhoods.
I got a radio alarm salt from the rich neighborhood. We got the shelf that the canning jars are on from a rich neighborhood.
Right.
So yeah.
And even if
thank you, rich neighborhood, you may be listening. Thank you.
Even if it's not the rich neighborhood, a lot of people are, always moving, always getting rid of
Well, here's
stuff.
the other thing, and you bring up your neighbors. It doesn't hurt. I mean, if you have a good relationship with your neighbors, if you don't like your neighbors, don't do this. Go over. Hey, Roger. Hey, Susie. I'm looking for this item. Do you have this, or do you know anybody that has such an item? 90% of the time they're probably gonna go, oh yeah, we've got it, we never use it. Why don't you just take it? Because it's only sitting in the closet taking up space.
You're absolutely correct. People will give you their stuff if you ask. If
you've got a question, you can certainly submit that over to us, as we've shared with you, at gardentalkradio@gmail.com. gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Hey, tune in to the program next week, same time, same station. We're going to be talking about building your soil before buying more of it, as well as making raised garden beds, as well as we'll answer more of your garden questions. So until next week, for
Holly Baird,
I'm Joy Baird. We thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the garden.